Be love.
Be light.
Be peace.
Be life.
Be wrong.
Alright?
Be strong.
What was it? Mid 2015. I started my brand with my other brand, which is associated with the Creative Era, which is called Whip Notes, Whitney House Positive Notes. And you know, that started off with just me sharing. I just started posting stuff on Instagram. Like, I had made a separate page. I started posting on Instagram, and I was like, all right, let me just do this part and just share what I have to share. So I did that. And you know, the effect of it, like, I didn't think people were gonna respond to it, but people were like, thank you so much for sharing this. Like, you know, I love that you post positive things or whatever. Because prior to me even having that page, I was already posting like positive quotes on my regular page, my Instagram, the Creative Era page. And people were like, you know, they were always, you know, they always enjoyed me posting that. So I was like, okay. So I just took it another level, and I created my own page, and I would just share my own quotes on there. I would share my stories on there and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this is cool, this is cute. Then by the ending of 2015, that's when God was like, all right, sis, like, no, yeah, September 2015, God was like, all right, sis, I need you to return back to the Creative Era. I don't know what you thought this was. Like, yeah, I told you to take a break, but I didn't tell you to retire. So I was like, dang, God, this how you doing? This how you feel? This how you feeling? And the only way I knew God put that on my heart to do that was because I was in a chicken spot. Like, I was in the chicken spot ordering me food, and I just started crying. Like, on my way back home, on my way walking home, I just started crying. I was like, dang, God, like, oh, this is real, like. And so I was like, all right. I jump started back I got my everything back in alignment, all my products and stuff like that. During 2015, when I talked about self-love, self-awareness, you know, everything, it was around a time where I really started to learn God. And of course, most of it came from reading sermons and also reading the Word of God. Like, you know, I would just, like, when I first was like, all right, I would hear like a lot of the pastors like, oh, you know, you gotta read the Word, you gotta read the Bible, blah blah blah. I'm like, yo, what's this Bible about? Like, I always heard people talk about it, but I'm like, yo, ain't nobody finna watch nobody read no Bible, all right? Like, it's mad thick, it's mad words. Like, they're using words like thy and thee and all other stuff. I'm like, fam, like, I don't know. Like, we ain't get there. And sure enough, after a while, when I decided to surrender, I started reading Genesis, because that's where you're supposed to start. Genesis is the first book in the Bible. So I'm like, all right, let me just go read that real fast. And sure enough, like, I read a lot of stuff in it that I was like, wow, like, how did God know what to do all this stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when he talks about, like, you know, what's the first thing he talks about? Like, the earth and the heavens, the moon and the sun, and, you know, the herbals, and, you know, the animals, and then humans. I was just, like, blown away, and I was like, wow, okay, cool. Like, you know, and one thing I'm gonna say to you guys, like, please do not go off whatever I'm talking about in terms of the Bible. Please just go do your own history, go do your own work, because your girl's still growing. I'm still a teenage Christian, okay? So I don't know no scripture by heart. I don't know none of that stuff. Your girl's still learning, all right? So definitely go read it for yourself. But yeah, so I would read that, and, you know, I was blown away, and I was like, okay, wow, God, all right. So I see what they talking about. So then, you know, 2015 was definitely, I was very filled up with God, and just pumped up. Like, I was hyped for God. Like, I was like, all right, God, like, what we doing, what we got? Like, I would, like, spend hours with God, hours and hours. And, you know, that around that time if I was at peace, I was the most happiest I've ever been in life. And mind you, none of my situations had changed. Like, my financial situation didn't change. Like, nothing changed. Like, my living situation, all the things that I prayed for didn't change. I just felt happier. I just felt more at peace. I just felt more, you know, alive or whatever. And so that happened. And then 2016 was when I really was like starting to question God, like, yo, fam, like, I know you gave me a couple of promises back over there, but I ain't seeing them today. So I'm like, yo, like, what's good with that? Like, you know, like, after a while, I'm like, all right, God, like, I want to move. I want to be financially stable. I want to do this. I want to do that. So it was a lot of different things that I was like, I was seeking God for, and I wasn't seeing it in real life. So I was like, by the end of 2016, I was like, all right, God, you a dub. Like, I'm not with this whole Christian journey. Like, it's a dub. Like, I don't feel needed. Like, I don't feel like it's needed. So I just went on my own journey. I was like, all right, God, like, I'm a done deal. Like, I stopped reading the word. I stopped going to church. Like, I just stopped doing everything because I was just, I ain't gonna hold y'all at that point. I was angry at God. I was just like, yo, God, like, I'm just tired. Like, I don't want, like, I'm over it. Like, I don't even want to be bothered. And so I just stopped talking to God. Even though he was still talking to me, like, you know, he was still leading me in certain ways that I see now. But back then I was just like, God, like, I'm just done. This is a breakup. It's official. We're divorced. By the end of 2017, that's when things really started to shift for me. Because I was in a relationship in 2017, and I remember waking up. I mean, at that time, everything for me was going very well. Everything was very smooth sailing, blah blah blah. And so I was just like, you know, God, you know, I just feel empty. Like, I woke up one morning and I was just like, yeah, I just feel empty. And I was just like, what does that mean? Like, I literally just sat there on the edge of my bed and was like, yo, God. That was like the first time I really reached out to God in a while. And I was like, yo, God, I just feel empty. Like, I just feel, I don't feel, like, I just don't feel fulfilled. Even though I had, like, my business was growing. I was, for the most part, I was financially stable. I was, you know, in a relationship. When you're in a relationship, you're supposed to be like, yes, I'm so in love. And it definitely, I was, but it wasn't like that. So by the end of 2017, I wound up ending that relationship. And also, you know, I just was sitting there like, yo, God, like, I just need to feel your presence again. Like, I need to feel at peace again. Like, I just don't know how to feel right now because I don't feel anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel anything. So I was like, all right, God, like, I just need your presence. I need to feel at peace. I need to feel like how I felt in 2015. So by then I was like, you know what, Whitney, that's when I got back into the word. I started watching my sermons. I started going back to church. Like, I really was like, Whitney, just get back into what you need to get back into. And it felt amazing. Like, the first couple of weeks, the first couple of months, it was definitely something I needed. Like, I was just like, wow, God, like, thank you for allowing me. The first thing I wrote in my journal to God, I said, God, thank you for accepting me back. Like, I was like, God, like, I know I just dubbed you, but, you know, thank you for allowing me back into your presence because I just didn't know. I was a new Christian. Like, I just was like, all right, God, like, ain't this how it's supposed to happen? Like, I tell you what to do and you make it happen. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. That was my mindset. So, but then, you know, I was like, okay, God, like, now what? And so I just got back into the flow of everything. Like, you know, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. I that's all I've been doing is just staying with God, like, really in depth with God, just chilling with God every day, every single day. Even if it's like 15 minutes, I'm spending at least some time with God. And usually throughout that time, I'm either watching a sermon, I'm journaling, I'm praying, I'm just asking God to get me through, like, what you need me to get through during this time frame. Oh, that was the other thing I missed out. That's one more thing I missed out. So in 2019, last year, because of all the changes, going back to like what I said early in the videos, was 2013, 2012, 2013, I was going through a lot of transition. 2017, 2018, I went through more transitions, and so that triggered a lot of my depression, a lot of my anxiety, a lot, like, it just, my depression was skyrocketing, and I was like, all right, God, I came back to you and now I'm depressed. Like, but even still in the midst of that, I still was like, I really leaned on the God. Like, I really leaned on God. Like, yo, fam, like, God, you gonna get me through this regardless. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because there was days I couldn't get out of bed. There was some things I could not. Like, I talk more about this in my other videos. I'll link that below, above, however. But even still then, I still was like, yo, God, like, why? Like, how? Like, like, how am I this depressed? Like, and it was definitely a very, like, hard space for me. It was a very, just really, I was really, really depressed, and the strange thing was, I didn't know that I was that depressed. Like, I literally was like, yo, I'm not depressed, like, I'm good, like, you know what I mean, like, just trying to go through day to day, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I was like, dang, like, all right, Whitney, clearly you're not mentally fit for this. You're not mentally well. Like, you need to go check yourself into a psych ward. Again, I talk more about that in my other videos. So I was in the hospital for 6 days. Even still in that time frame, we wasn't allowed to have our phone inside the inside of the hospital. So I was like, so I told my best friend, I said, yo, fam, bring me my Bible, bring me my journal, bring me anything that I could do so I could spend my mornings with God, because when you in there, all you have is time. Like, that's all you have is time. So I was like, all right, let me just chill out in here, get a chance to actually read, the word and stuff like that. So I did a lot of that, and then the other stage was, so I got out of that. When I left out of the psych ward, I was put on, like, antidepressant. I was put on, I was seeing a therapist on a regular. But even during that stage, I said, you know what, Whitney, you, from now to, for the next year, really up your game. Like, really get crazy. Like, really get where you need to be. So I was like, all right, Whitney, like, let's get this thing on and popping. So I started working out on a regular basis. I've been going, like, these are things that I've been doing for the last year or so. I started working out more. I started, I made sure I see my therapist every single week. Like, I think out of a whole year, I probably missed, like, maybe one session probably. But I was there every day. Your girl was there every day. I was there every day, and then, the other thing was, I wound up changing my church, because early in the thing I talked about was me having to change churches. I mean, me going to my sister's church. I was there for 8 years, and I grew a lot. Like, I learned a lot. But for me, that church was, it was a very big church. It was a very big church, and I really needed more of a small, intimate space with, like, more of a community. So I was like, all right, like, and I felt like God telling me. I knew God was going to transition me into another church or whatever. So, 2019, August 2019, God was like, all right, sis, it's time you to move on. You got what you needed. You needed that for that season. Time to move on. So then, August 2019, I wound up attending The Gathering, which is a very small, intimate church. Like, if I see you on one Sunday, I know that the next Sunday I'm going to see you. Now, with 1 Corinthians, I may see you, and I may never see you ever in life. Like, ever in life. So, that's how big 1 Corinthians was. But with The Gathering Harlem, it was definitely smaller. Like, it, and then not only that, the way I found that church was on Instagram. Ironically, crazy. So I seen it on Instagram, and and I just kept seeing, so my pastor name is Pastor Kenny. And I kept seeing Pastor Kenny on my timeline, but I wasn't following the page. I was just like, yo, why is this man on my page, though? Like, I ain't never go check out their page, no nothing. It just kept showing up on my feed. I was like, you know what? Let me just check it out. So I went to go check out the sermon that he was talking. I was like, wow. I'm like, all right, this is a good word. Like, you know, like let me go check it out. So when the time that God told me to go to change church, I already knew what church I was going to go to, which was the Gather Harlem. So I was like, all right. So I went there, and I've been there for the last almost a year now. Well, August 2020 will be a whole year, and it was definitely a game changer because I was like, oh, like, you know, I've been able to build a lot of community. I was able to build a lot of different, just different things. Like, I was able to do a lot. And then even during that space, I was also, let me tell you how much I needed God in these moments. I needed God so much that I was attending church twice a week. On Fridays, for the last like 2 years, I've been attending Pilgrim Fresh Fire. And that's a part of my homeboy's church, who he posted it on Facebook that, you know, they was doing a sermon and doing a Friday service and stuff like that. So I think around that time I was definitely depressed. And I just needed Lord. I just needed God. I just needed the Lord. And I was like, you know what? Let me go attend or whatever. And sure enough, like, I loved it. I'd never been on a Sunday, but the Fridays, I literally take 2 trains just to get there every Friday. And, you know, it was definitely a game changer. Like, with God, it was just like, I just need to stay in his presence. Like, you know what I mean? And his presence is always on me, but I wanted to feel like I just need to keep feeling that way. Like, I always wanted to feel like, you know, like I'm pleasing the Lord. And which is the crazy thing, you don't ever have to please the Lord. Like, in terms of like having to like find God, and like, you know, he's always with us. He's always there to guide us, even when we don't want him to. Like, even when we say, God, like, back up, like, you bugging, like, peace out, shorty, he's still there. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like, you know, so I was all like, until this day, I still am just hyped for God. Like, I'm just always hyped for God. Like, I'm always even now, like, graphic designers for my main church, which is the Gather Harlem. And then with Pilgrim Fresh Fire, I'm there. I'm always supporting, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always there every other Friday. Like, I'm just there. Like, I just love the Lord. And I never really thought I would be that girl. Like, again, because I started with saying, yo, like, my sister asked me, I'm like, yo, I'm dead knocked out. Like, I'm drunk. Like, and now you want me to go to church? Like, nah, this ain't for me. And sure enough, like, your girl dead be like, we at church like every day, like every single day, bro. Like, not every single day. I'm in there every single weekend. Like church for me is like a club. Like, for me right now, like, I dead be in there. Like, I be hyped. Like, I be like, yo, I'm in church. Like, I let everybody know I'm in church, child. And the reason I just love that is because, like, I just feel like what God delivered me out of, my depression, my selfishness, my just everything, that it's just my honor to him to say, like, listen, Lord, like, I'm giving this back to you. Like, my bad, my fault, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm giving this all back to you. You feel me? But yeah, like, I don't know, like, this video was definitely wild long. But, you know, I just want to give you guys an insight of where I'm coming from. Moving forward, I'm going to be sharing more of my testimonies, more of my journey, more into depth. If there's anything else that you guys want me to talk about, please leave a comment down below. Please feel free to inbox me on all social media platforms. Anything, or even if you just want to talk, like, ask me questions about God and, like, how did I find Jesus? And I didn't even talk about how I got saved. Alright, that's the next video. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Holla at your girl, and you already know how we give it up.
Be love.
Be light.
Be peace.
Be life.
Be wrong.
Alright.
Be strong.
Be bold.
Be black.
Be gold.
Be love.
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 Be light.
Be peace.
Be life.
Be wrong.
Alright.
Be strong.
Be bold.
Be black.
Be gold.
love.
Be love.
Be-
See, I be trying to tell them they look down on your melanin. Chew it out, roots, but I don't blame them when they settle in. Double personality, that cool.